I will be doing a quick tank review for the German Tier 7 medium tank, the Panther. The Panther, in real life, it was a very good medium for its day. The in-game Panther, it is mediocre. It is good and it's bad at the same time for a Tier 7 medium. This vehicle, I have a mixed opinion on. It's a good tank if you know how to use it right. If you do not know how to use this medium, it is a bad medium as well. You will see why I have a mixed opinion of this tank in the review. Let's get to the stats of the vehicle now. The Panther, when it is fully upgraded, you will have 1,300 hit points. You can take a good amount of hits if you know how to use the armor and soak up damage as well. When you get yourself into a tier 7 to a tier 9 match, you can be killed easily by howitzers or by artillery that shoot at you. So watch out for that. This vehicle, it can weigh up to 48 tons. My setup, it is about 45.5 tons. With the top engine of 700 horsepower, it will give me a decent enough horsepower to ton ratio. The top speed, it is 55 kilometers. You can easily reach this top speed when you are going downhill only. My horsepower to ton ratio, it is about 15 horsepower to 1 ton, which is decent enough. I can reach the top speed easily enough on a flat terrain or going downhill only. The vehicle hull traverse and turret traverse are decent enough. Watch out for vehicles that can easily flank you. The hull traverse, it is 32 degrees, while the turret, it is 30. The vehicle armor, most of it is in the front. This vehicle have all of the traditional weak parts that you can shoot at. The vehicle hull armor, it is 85 millimeters, but it is angled. If you angle the armor just right, you can ricochet some guns up to tier 8 if you know how to angle right. The weak parts of the front, it is the lower glacis plate. If you want to make use of the effective armor in the front, get the vehicle into a hold down position. The machine gun port, the observation points in the front are weak points, and if you do have the height advantage, these hatch doors are a weak part as well. Side, it is 50, which can be penned easily enough. The front armor, it can be penned easily enough if you have a high penetrating gun. I find that with a well-placed shot from the side or from the front, the crew and the modules can be knocked out easily enough. The rear, it is 40, which can be penned easily enough. The turret, it is quite well armored from the front. The gun mantlet, it is quite well armored, so you can get a good amount of ricochet there. The armor around the gun mantlet, it is 120 millimeters with some angling. As long as you angle the turret armor and get into a hold down position, you can ricochet a good amount of rounds. The armor thickness increases as the angles go up a bit. The armor for the side and rear, it is thin, 60 millimeters. The turret, it is a weak spot here. If you have the height advantage, The capla and the top of the tank heel, it is a weak part, as the rear heel. This hatch heel, if you can get a HE round to go through in here, you can easily knock out the entire crew. The gun itself. The top gun, it is a variant of the 75mm gun, a KWK L100. This gun, it is decent enough. The gun depression for the vehicle, it is 8 degrees downward, while the gun elevation upward, it is 20 degrees. So you can sort of hill fight with this tank if you must. The L100 gun. This gun, it is a high rate of fire gun with a good loading time and aiming time. The pen for this gun, as long as you use armor piercing and a PCR wisely, you can pen most vehicles up to tier 9 with ease. The one downside to this gun, it is the low alpha. 135 alpha damage. You have to fire a lot of rounds and they have to pen if you want to inflict a lot of damage within a match. The aiming time, it is quite good at 2.3 seconds. The accuracy is quite good at 0.32. The gun on the Panther, as long as you sit back and fully aim, you can be a very good support sniper. The vehicle view range with the top turret, it is 380 meters. When you add in coated optics, binocular telescopes, and a fully trained crew, you can easily reach the maximum view range in game, which would be about 450 meters. The radio on this tank, it is quite good. You have a radio that go out to 710 meters. Let's get to the research part of the tank now. The research for the Panther, it is a straightforward grind. You will have most of the equipment already researched on the Panther. The only pieces of equipment that you need to research, it is the top gun, the tracks, and the top turret. Let's begin off with the tracks. If you want to mount all of the equipment without going over the load limit, you need to get the top pair of tracks to mount all of the equipment. From the first pair of tracks to the second, there was an increase in the load limit from 45 to 48 tons, with an increase in the whole traverse from 30 degrees to 32. I would recommend that you research and mount the top pair of tracks just for the increased hull traverse bonus. If you don't want to research the tracks and able to mount all of the equipment, equip a enhanced torsion bar. These two Maybach engine, the 650 horsepower and the 700, you would have had researched them already on the VK 3000 and 2M or any vehicle that uses it. I would recommend that you research the engines on the VK 3002M while you are going through it and mount the top one right away, because the 700 horsepower engine will give you the best horsepower to ton ratio on this tank. All of these radios, you would have had researched them on previous vehicles already. The FUG-12 radio, you would have had researched it while you are going up this line. Equip the best radio right away because it is the best one here. The FUG-12. The two turrets. The first one, the off G1. This turret, you can mount the L100 gun right away, which is a good thing. But the only issue I have with this turret is that with a high penetrating gun, it can be penned easily enough. But when you do get the upgraded turret, you will have a better turret armor in the front, and it's angled as well. So if you can get yourself into a hold down position and use the top turret correctly, you can ricochet a lot of rounds. Also, the gun handling stats are better for the top turret as well. So research and mount the top turret for the stats increase and the hit point bonus as well. The guns, you have 3 guns to choose from. Let's begin off with the 10.5 centimeter L28 gun. This gun, it is rubbish at this tier. Don't even use it. This is a howitzer. You have 2 guns that you are going to be using. The 75mm L70 gun. This gun, it is quite good at a tier 6 area and good at tier 7 still, if you know how to use it right. When you do get the required EXP and money, the L100 gun, it is slightly better. You will have a decrease in rate of fire, but with the increased pen, you can pen most vehicles up to tier 9 with ease, as long as you know where to shoot at. The damage output, it is the same, so you have to fire a lot of rounds and hope that they pen to do a lot of damage in the match. The accuracy, it is better, 0.32, so you can actually snipe with both of these guns. The aiming time, it is the same though. The Panther leads to 2 vehicles, the Tiger II, which will require 108,000 research points and about 2.5 million credits. The Panther II, you will need 88,000 and 500 research points and about 2.5 million credits as well. Let's cover the pros and cons for the Panther now. The pros and cons for the Panther. As a tier 7 vehicle, you can get yourself into a tier 9 match maximum. The Panther, when you are top tier, you can do quite well in the vehicle if you know what you are doing. When you are in a tier 8 and 9 match, I would recommend that you play this tank as a support tank or as a medium to a long distance sniper. How do you use the Panther? The 2 best ways to use it, it is as a support tank and as a medium to a long distance sniper as well. If you must, you can play the vehicle as a frontline medium or play it very aggressively. If you do plan to play this tank as a frontline medium, if you get yourself into the wrong place at the wrong time, you can be killed easily enough. Most guns in the game up to tier 9 can pen the Panther front armor with ease. Now to what is good about the Panther. You have a high rate of fire gun, which if all of the rounds can pen and hit the tank, you can accumulate a lot of damage within a minute. This is also a con as well. This tank, it is quite mobile for a medium at tier 7. If you angle the armor right and get it into a hold down position, you can ricochet a good amount of guns, shells up to tier 8 still. The cons of the Panther. The gun, due to the low alpha damage, you have to fire and hope that all of the rounds penetrate the tank to inflict a lot of damage. With a well-placed shot, the crew and the modules can be damaged easily enough. This tank armor, most guns up to tier 9 can penetrate with ease. Some of the side notes that I made while playing the Panther was that if you use the VK 3002M and gotten used to it, then you can play the tier 6 medium that lead up to this the same way. Let's get to the equipment, the modules, and the ammo layout for the Panther. Let's begin off with the consumables. I would go with a first aid kit, a repair kit, and a manual fire extinguisher. You can substitute this with the combat rations, or if you want to go faster, use the octane fuel. This vehicle carries a good amount of ammo, 80 rounds. You can, in theory, go through this ammo quickly due to the high rate of fire of the gun. The APCR and armor-piercing rounds do the same amount of damage. The only difference between them is the pen. I generally find that with the L100 gun, you can pen most vehicles up to tier 9 with ease if you know where you are shooting at. The majority of the shells I would shoot from the Panther would be armor piercing up to tier 8. The APCR rounds can pen armor up to 305mm thick. I would only use APCR rounds on vehicles if I am facing heavily armored vehicles, or if I want to make sure my round it is going to penetrate and hit the tank. If you are going to use APCR rounds, it will cost you 2,800 credits or 7 gold. I would carry some HE just in case if you are going to be shooting at a thinly armored target or just want to reset cap. The equipment that I use on my Panther setup, it is binocular telescopes, which increase my viewing up to 485 meters with the equipment and crew, so I can effectively snipe tanks from a medium to a long distance if I must. The gun rammer and vents combined, it decreased my loading time and improved my tank stats by a little bit as well. The other equipment that you can use on the Panther if you want to, it is the toolbox. The toolbox will just increase your repair speed by 25%, which can be quite handy. The enhanced gunning drive, it is a good idea as well if you want to decrease the aiming time, which is already good. If you want to increase the view range of the tank, you can use the coated optics or the binocular telescopes. With the coated optics equipped and the crew perks added on top, you can easily have 450 meters with ease for the view range. The medium spoiler, it is not a bad idea if you want to have extra protection against ramming HE and to protect the crew as well. I have some replays to show you how to use the Panther quite well. Let's get to them now. This replay, I am in a tier 7 match with two of my friends, the Mighty Czar and Acob. This replay will show you how much damage the Panther can do if you can make use of the gun in the match. This long 75mm gun. It is a very good gun if you can make it work. This replay I will show you how you can make use of this high rate of fire with the low alpha damage that this gun produces. Now I got into the front lines. The Panther is generally not a very good front line vehicle, but I make it work for me in this match. I am being careful as I poke out here. I am checking to my sides. What is there? The Tiger one here. I am trying to flank it so a cop can shoot at the Tiger while it's spinning. There, I managed to get a very high damage roll by ammo racking it there. At the time this match was going on, Acob and I was sort of surprised there. I'm very careful because this sticker max could shoot me where it was at. Managed to damage the Tiger P a little bit there. I just noticed that I don't have no backup, except for the A44 there. Now I am loading HDR just to make sure my rounds are going against this Tiger. I am using my somewhat good agileness here to shoot at the Tiger one weak spots. Now I am a one shot for this Tiger. By now I am sort of stuck. I try to get back into cover there. That Black Prince there killed me before I could get into cover and use the Tiger P there as a shield. I did not too bad. I did about 2,900 damage in this match. Let's go to the next replay now. This match, I am in a tier 8 maximum match, which I played quite aggressively. Let me speed the replay up a bit to get to the front line faster. I first began going to the left side of the map where I know where the majority of the enemy forces are going to be. Everyone here is getting in their way. Seeing the middle of the map being open, only with the VK and the ELC in the open there, I chose to help repulse their push here. That E75, I almost gotten the kill there. Right now I am using the hill here to cover my advance and to have a height advantage if the enemy team wanted to do a push. With the 54 in town lighting up any vehicle in that area, I try to lead my shots where the enemy tanks were going to be when they retreat backwards. None of them landed and hit them. Here, I tried to descend very slowly, but I damaged myself when I was falling down. The hill here, I tried to kill the GW Panther while trying to use the hill to cover myself for the most part. I couldn't. I received a hit from the Charioteer. This Hellcat have to go first before I can help out with the Charioteer there. Right now, the majority of the enemy team, it is in the 3 to the 6 line area. Now, I am getting towards the enemy rear at the F line area to try to compress the enemy so we can finish the enemy forces off quickly enough. This bulldog here, I have to finish it off first before I pay any attention for the AT that would be firing at me. Fortunately enough, the allied tanks on my team were keeping the AT-750. I tried to track the AT but failed. That Kepler, I almost finished it off. Fortunately, my load time was faster than the Firefly loading time, so I finished it off. This Panther, as it was moving forward, I finished it off. I load to a PCR round to make sure my rounds are going to penetrate and potentially kill that SU. I know that my armor-piercing round will have a problem penning that vehicle. I fell back while loading. I finished that SU 122-44 off. I did quite good for being a very aggressive tank in this match, being in a tier 8 match maximum. I almost got in a top gun medal as well. I was just 1 kill short. Let's go to the next replay. This replay, I am in a tier 8 match on the map Malinovka. First thing first, I head to the hill. Well, I can reach that point quickly enough. On a flatter terrain, you can easily reach around 30 to 40 quickly enough. This match was also interesting as well, because our side did not have no tier 8 heavies, unlike the enemy team does. Most of the team here went to the hill area, with some base defenders in the area. Let me speed up the replay a bit. While this was going on, I was making small talk in the chat there, and also looking out what is around me and what could potentially shoot at me. I stop, shoot at the T-37 and move. This tank have a problem when you are trying to fire while on the move at times. That CDC fired at me and I moved to cover. That T-37 in the open there, I tried to fire at it. My second round hit it. At this point of the match, I thought I should go back to base, but seeing what is on the hill area, I turned around and helped my teammates on the hill. Right now there are the T-43 and the IS-3. Me and this AMX here have to kill this T-43 if we are going to hold the hill. I am sure that the rest of their teammates are going to be helping these two tanks on the hill to get the hill in their possession. I took the lead here and fire the T-43 while on the move. Seeing the object, I fired at it before falling back. I kept doing it for a little bit, until I was outside for the object. The loading time is quite good, so you can actually get multiple shots off within 10 seconds, as shown here. I have to load a PCR now and pen at weak part of the vehicle. At this range, I began aiming at his lower plates. Right now, I am in a bad situation. There are tanks within that area that were shooting at me. I scared the VK off a bit. Now I am a one shot. I am falling back a bit while using this hill as cover. Right here. From my position here, I am in a bit of a hold down position so I can ricochet enemy rounds if they hit me. Vehicles from the base area that can see my side can pin me with ease. I am falling back and forth to use the hill as cover while shooting at them. I landed a Kapla shot to finish that VK off. I missed that shell. It fell a little bit short. If I do anything foolish, I can be one-shotted by the CDC or the VK there if I show a weak part of the armor to them. Fortunately, I think that VK there, 3000 D, is using the L70 gun, I think. This CDC I tried to fire while it was moving. I am being very careful as I advance. I double checked before I move forward, knowing that I can be killed easily enough. This bulldog, I try to track it while I move forward to help the AMX out. I fired blindly there, hoping I would hit it. I'm being very cautious here. I don't want to die just yet. I am on low health. This bulldog, I fall back while loading. With that bulldog taken care of, I began to move forward, knowing that the CDC is probably falling back to base somewhere. I am trying to get myself into a hold down position to make use of my armor. I just need one more hit to finish that SU off. Right now I am looking around to see what could potentially kill me. This CDC, when it does pop up, I made the error within this match to charge at it to finish it off. At this time, I thought I could use my speed and the rate of fire of the L100 gun to finish it off. This match, it was a victory for our team. I did quite well within this match. With the assist damage added on top, I did about 4,200 damage. Also, I received my Master Ace Tinker badge in this tank. Let's go to the garage now and do a brief recap. Let's do a brief recap on the Panther. The Panther. This tank, it is an average tank, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. This tank With the L7D and the L100 gun, you have to fire a lot of rounds to accumulate a large amount of damage within a match. This tank, it is a very good support tank slash sniping tank from a distance. This tank, you can do quite well in it if you know how to use the strength and weaknesses to your advantage within this tank. Due to the cheap armor piercing and HE round, if you only fire armor piercing and HE in this tank, you can accumulate a lot of credits using this tank if you inflict a lot of damage within a match. This tank, as it is just like the 3002M. You can play this tank quite well if you know how to use the 3002M well enough. This tank overall, it is a average tier 7 medium tank that is okay to use. It is not that good nor bad, just like the other tier 7 medium within the game. I hope that you learn a thing or two about how to use the Panther properly. If you like my video, leave a comment or even follow my channel as well. Also, sharing my channel with your friends also help my channel grow as well. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone.